Welcome back as we work to connect with each other and with Jesus. Well, some of you, I imagine, are very competitive, and you're competitive and you like to play. There are some of you that are competitive but say, I'm just not going to participate in whatever competition that is. Others of you are like, I don't know what a competition is. You don't really care, you're not competitive. And it's not that any of those is better or worse than the others, but competition is part of our society. You think of sports stars and teams, and they compete. And they compete in games because they're trying to determine who's the best. You can look on paper and see the stats or the skill sets of individual competitors, but until they play the game, that doesn't mean anything. And these are a big deal. There's a lot of money invested and spent on sports in our world. And those who become champions, a lot of them become celebrities, sometimes overnight. So whether they win the Super Bowl or the World Series or the World Cup, they become known. They become influential just because they were able to be better at somebody else at something. Well, I remember growing up, there were different things we would do to pass the time. Sometimes we'd just go have a fun game. Other times we'd be bored and try to come up with random things to do. Well, particularly when I was out with cousins or friends to a restaurant and our parents were talking for what seemed forever, we'd try to come up with ways that would pass the time without getting us in trouble. Oftentimes we would play paper football. And just a simple little thing that you put together and you just play a game that really never amounted to anything. You might have got a scorn from your parents or something of that nature, but there are a couple ways to play. You can take the paper football and you can flick it at the other person holding up the field goal. You can try to flick it to the side of the table and try to get it to get on the edge and you get a point. You have different things that help pass the time. Most of the times competition is harmless, it's beneficial, can help build character, but there are times where it can be detrimental. In Luke 9:46, the disciples are having an argument about who is the greatest. Now, the disciples were the 12 men who followed Jesus, and they spent their lives learning from him, growing with him, and understanding his mission. See, they missed something, though, because they thought Jesus was going to set up this earthly kingdom, and they would be the top of the leaders. And they want to be not just one of the top leaders, they want to be the top of the top. And so they're arguing back and forth about who was the greatest and what rewards they would have, and the responsibilities and the perks of being this leader who followed Jesus. When Jesus rebukes them, he says, anyone who welcomes this child in my name, he says, that's the person who's important in the kingdom. And he says, the one who is least is the one who is the greatest. Jesus came not to establish this worldly kingdom that we can have accolades and advancements and have all these accomplishments that we feel good about. He came to turn the world upside down. He came so that we would serve, so that we would build his kingdom, not build our bank account. That we would establish his salvation and share his salvation, not have our name known by other people. So when we think about competition, there are times where it can be good. When it inspires us to improve, when the team succeeds, when we don't focus on individual accomplishments. Those are times when competition can be good. But the disciples missed the fact that they were on the same team. Those who follow Jesus are all on the same team. And our success is not judged by how we judge the world. It's not judged by our bank account, the size of our house, the cool new toys and gadgets we have. Success is judged on how the kingdom is established here. But this kingdom is not something that is limited to our worldly understanding. It's something greater. It's something further, something more. So we can compete, we can have fun, but it has to be about Jesus, because otherwise it's just about me. So have fun in your competition and stay connected to Jesus and each other. Take care.